It's Friday. Shreyas, it's Friday.
Welcome to another episode of the Big Honey Sports Podcast. We have been absent for quite a while. A lot has been going on in our lives. But today we are bringing you a fantasy segment in our new studio.
Yes.
We moved apartments, so now we have a new studio.
We hope you like it. It's a little more cozy.
Yeah.
You know?
It's more homey.
Yeah. Got some nice memorabilia. And we are rocking and rolling now.
So the NFL season started yesterday with the Chiefs and the Texans. As I mentioned, the Friday episodes are going to be more fantasy focused.
Yeah.
So we're going to start by recapping the game last night, the season opener, and the fantasy impacts that we saw throughout that game. So I want to start with the rookie, Clyde Hilaire. 25 rushes for 138 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
How viable is that success, like long term? What do you think? Will he be able to sustain that as a rookie? I mean, I don't know how good the Texans defense is. It's usually not very good.
No, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up for me. He looked good, but, he had opportunity. He could have scored multiple times. There are three other occasions where he could have gone in, like Kareem Hunt, or some more pronounced running backs would have gotten the touchdown there, but he didn't. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know how much of that is on him or just maybe the Texans defense, but either way, I mean, he had 25 carries. Anytime you have 25 carries, you're gonna add up yards. It doesn't really matter who you are.
That's a lot of carries for a rookie in his first game.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
But I mean, it's impressive, but I don't think I'm sold on him yet. But he is not.
No,
he's not. He had a good game.
It's definitely like a promising start.
Yeah.
I need to see more from him. But yeah, first game. That's my biggest takeaway was that he had 0 catches.
Yeah, he was targeted twice.
I was told that he might be a big factor in the passing game out of the backfield, and he didn't have any catches.
No.
So if he starts to rack up some receptions out of the backfield, he's gonna be a solid fantasy player for everybody.
Yeah. I would say his draft position. He was being drafted early first round, right?
Yeah, it was probably 4 through 8 around that.
So I think I don't know. We'll see what the season holds, but at this point, you're happy that you drafted him that early. It looks like it'll pay off.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
Next up, I want to talk about David Johnson.
Yes,
he's a big factor because obviously they traded DeAndre Hopkins for him.
Yeah,
did not have a good year in Arizona last year when Kenyon Drake got there and took over. But David Johnson had a solid outing. He had 11 rushes for 77 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Also
caught 3 passes for 32 yards. He had a solid night.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about him moving forward?
I like him. I've been raving all week, all offseason about David Johnson. I like the guy. I like the new system he's in. The Texans and Bill O'Brien particularly, obviously they saw something in David Johnson, right? Because they traded away their best player to get him. So they clearly want to utilize him. They want to make him a centerpiece of the offense. Last night, I think it's more a game script why he didn't get more rushes because they were down the entire game. You know what I mean? So in more favorable scripts, I think he's going to be a lot better. And last night he was great. So I like him a lot.
I saw a funny tweet that was it was like Bill O'Brien's halftime speech is just going to be threatening all the good players that they'll get traded. I don't know what they're doing over there.
I mean, that'd probably be like a positive for them. You'd be like, oh, I can actually go somewhere I might have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
DeAndre Hopkins tweeted last night or this morning or something. All he tweeted was thankful. DeAndre Hopkins tweeted that. So take that as you will. DeAndre Hopkins might be happy that he's out of Houston.
I would be.
Finally, from that game, Wolfe Fuller. Obviously, we could talk about the Travis Kelce's and the Sammy Watkins and all that, but they're pretty established. Wolfe Fuller had 8 catches for 112 yards. Yeah. And I didn't expect that, honestly, because I think of him as more just a deep threat that'll catch maybe a long touchdown.
Yeah.
But he had 8 catches on like 10 targets, 12 targets,
he had
something
a lot of
like
volume.
that. So moving forward, what are your thoughts on Wolfe Fuller? I mean, I think that's sustainable with who they have, Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb.
Yeah, they're both on the tail end of their careers.
Right. I think Wolfe Fuller probably can sustain this for most of the season.
Yeah, it's just a matter of injury if he's because he hasn't been durable. His couple of seasons in the league, he hasn't been durable.
Right.
And now you're asking him to be the number 1, whereas he was the number 2 and he couldn't really stay healthy. If you can keep the health going, I think he's like a pretty because he wasn't drafted very high, so he's a bargain if he can sustain it. I think you're right. He's obviously the number 1 guy there.
Right, and I think like Deshaun Watson probably found his new target. Like there's no replacing DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, but he found the next guy that he likes.
Yeah, because like I said, when I think of Wolfe Fuller, I think of he had like 3 catches for like 100 yards, and one of them was like a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But like the fact that he had whatever I said, 10 or 12 targets, that's like
and he had the volume too. 8 catches. Man.
I don't see that slowing down. At least the targets. Who knows if he's going to have 8 catches a game? But he's gonna get his chances.
Yeah. So if you have him, even if he's on your waiver wire, because I bet in leagues he's on your waiver wire, get him. Why not? The guy's obviously the number 1 guy there now.
So the biggest story out of that game was Andy Reid's face shield, which looked atrocious.
The giant visor,
and also the Kansas City fans like booing during the social justice. Yeah,
not a good look. But
the flag that wasn't even part of the flag.
Yeah,
so I don't want to get into
that's tough. The visor thing. Do you think he made that on his own? Because that looks like
it looked like it was engineered specifically like for a hat.
For his hat. Yeah. For his specific hat.
Yeah.
You could still I saw a meme that said you could still fit a burger under there or something. Someone said.
I saw something that was like now he knows what like the buffet sees when he's looking at the buffets.
Andy Reid.
But yeah, whatever. Chiefs won that game pretty handily. Like the final score was closer than it actually was.
We'll get more into detail on like those kind of aspects on the next podcast. This is just fantasy.
Right, this is just fantasy.
We'll talk about week 1 and all what it means for all the teams, what we came away with.
So obviously that was the opener. So this weekend we have the full slate of games plus Monday night. So we're gonna do our own stardom and sit-em. We're trying to come up with a clever name instead of stardom and sit-em because everybody does that.
Rock them and block them.
If you have any suggestions, shoot them our way. So Yuri, who are your stardoms for the week? We're doing 3 each, any position.
Okay, we'll go one at a time. I'll start Josh Allen, quarterback. Buffalo Bills playing the New York Jets at home in Buffalo. It's going to be, I think he's going to be good. I mean, the last couple times he's played the Jets, the games have been lower scoring. I don't think that'll be the case this time, though. I just got a gut feeling, he's going to rush for a touchdown, I think, maybe 2. The guy led the league last year in touchdowns on the ground with quarterback rushing. Now he's got Stephon Diggs there. Who knows how the chemistry is between them, but I think it's going to pay off. I think the trade pays off, and he's got another number 1 weapon there, complement of John Brown, Josh Allen. I think he's going to look good. Who you got?
So for my first stardom, this one is probably not going to pan out very well, but I went with the rookie Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver for the Broncos. Cortland Sutton just had an AC joint sprain.
Wonderful.
He probably will not be playing on Monday night.
What's new?
That leaves like Tim Patrick and Deshaun Hamilton, I think. I don't know if Deshaun Hamilton made the team. I'm sure he did. And then KJ Hamler, another rookie. So I could see Jerry Jeudy. They have Noah Fant, who might get a lot of targets because he at least has a year under his belt. But Jerry Jeudy, I feel like could have a decent game with the Broncos' number 1 option out. Well, He's not officially out, but I highly doubt he'll play. Yeah,
it's not sounding very promising for that. And even if he did play, you're talking. He might be
on a snap count. He might be more of a decoy.
Exactly.
He might not get the volume. So.
If you have Cortland Sutton, you're not going to want to start him this week.
I would not start.
Don't start
him. Especially because he's the last Monday night game. So if you wait till Monday night, you don't have any other options. You got to make the decision Sunday.
Yeah.
So you can at least have somebody in there. Who's your second stardom?
My second stardom is James White. James White has been one of the more consistent running backs in the league for the past 2 seasons. He always gets his targets, and I know it's under the Tom Brady Belichick system, but James White is like that PPR complimentary running back that you can just about count on every single week. He has you would think it's a favorable matchup against the Dolphins, and I don't think Cam Newton's going to be razzle dazzle to start the year. So I think he's going to be dumping it off to his running backs more so than normal. And James White, I think, that's just the game script he's the best to suit it in. So I think James White is going to be, 5 or 6 catches probably, maybe 80 yards. I don't know, maybe a touchdown rushing. That's the nice thing. He could either catch it or rush it. So it's like you got multiple ways to get in the end zone with him. I just like him this week.
I'm going with Ben Roethlisberger. Now, obviously, you could be hesitant because he sat out a whole year. But everything I've heard, he sounds like he's back and ready to go. He's lost weight, I'm pretty sure. They're also playing the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So
on Monday night.
I like Ben Roethlisberger coming back. I think, I mean, when you think of like comeback player of the year, like he's probably in the discussion. Because let's be real, Ben Roethlisberger is pretty good. As much as you hate to say it, like he's good. So I think Ben Roethlisberger could have a big game Monday night against the Giants.
Yeah, he could torch that defense.
Yes.
Who's on that defense? Landon Collins?
I don't know.
Exactly. I don't even know. They probably traded him because that's what the Giants do. They trade all their defense. My third stardom. Okay, good. This is the one that I switched it, and I was like, what the hell? I didn't write that. It is AJ Green. Coming off of, was it a hamstring injury last year or some sort of...
I don't know this
sort of leg injury. I don't remember. He's been injured. He's been under the fantasy radar, obviously, for good reason. His injury history is not beneficial to him, but... Whoa. AJ Green, okay? The guy is a baller, and if he's healthy, he's going to ball. He's got a competent...
That's always the biggest question with AJ Green. It's like, can he be on the field?
Exactly. I know. It's
so,
tough.
But for 1 week, yeah, I think that's a good stardom.
Yeah. And he's got a competent quarterback. I think Joe Burrow's going to pan out pretty well. And what do rookie quarterbacks do the most when they're rookies? They throw it to the number one guy, the guy that they know at least has a chance to catch the ball. He's going to be looking to AJ Green the whole game. He's probably going to be scared and nervous because it's like his first game and everything. I would start AJ Green, 100 yards, maybe a touchdown, maybe a 2-point conversion.
Okay.
10 receptions for AJ Green, I'm calling it, and 100 yards receiving.
My final stardom is DJ Chark.
DJ Chark. We're going to do that? No.
DJ Chark. When I think of, like, my reasoning behind this, let's be real. Who else do the Jaguars have? They literally, the last domino to fall was Leonard Fournette. They have nobody on offense.
Nobody, yeah.
They drafted Laviska Shenault. He's a wide receiver out of Colorado who's a stud, but he's a rookie. I think he's hurt. He might be questionable. DJ Chark broke out last year for the Jags, and I just think Gardner Minshew is he's gonna favorite him a lot early on at least. So I would start him this week for sure.
The volume is key, especially among the wide receiver. It's just who's the number one guy. If it's the number one guy, you need to be seriously considering starting him. Moving on to Sid'em.
We're gonna go to Sid'ems. We gotta speed this up because we've taken a while.
Okay,
it's already been 14 minutes. So.
All right. Well,
so who are your Sid'ems of the week? Who do you want to stay away from?
Okay, Ryan Tannehill is my number one Sid'em of the week quarterback. I don't know how many leagues he's rostered in. We're going to do more extensive research, just FYI. This was a spur-of-the-moment episode, kind of, so next week we'll have much more analysis with facts and all that. But Ryan Tannehill, he's at the New Orleans. Is he really playing? No, he's not.
No, he's playing the Broncos.
He's playing the Broncos. I was like, this is what I'm talking about with research. Anyways, Ryan Tannehill, I don't know who's playing. The Broncos, yes, the Broncos. He's playing. I'm tired. I've been working. I worked a lot today. The Broncos. He's playing the Broncos. First off, we got AJ Bouye now. We got a couple other defenders. We lost Von Miller. Yes, that hurts. But I don't like Ryan Tannehill because last year, and it's just a fluke. It was a fluke. The guy's not that good. He came into a nice little system. Nobody cared about him, so he had nothing to lose. This year, there's more pressure on him to deliver, and teams have now they found out what they did with Derrick Henry that stopped the entire Titans offense last postseason. You don't think other teams are going to replicate it? I think it starts with the Broncos. They shut down Derrick Henry a little bit, and Ryan Tannehill he's just not going to know what to do. So bench Ryan Tannehill. He's not going to be good.
My first sit-em is Cam Newton. So obviously there's a lot of hype behind Cam Newton right now with the Patriots. His work ethic, all this stuff, comeback year. I'm not a big Cam believer. And I'm very biased because the Broncos destroyed him in Super Bowl 50, and he just hasn't been the same ever since. I'm not a big Cam believer. Would it be cool to see him thrive? No, because he's on the Patriots. So
literally any other team.
And they're playing the Dolphins, and their head coach was the defensive coordinator of the Patriots. Now, obviously, they're going to switch up their scheme probably with Cam Newton, but it's going to probably he's probably going to know relatively like what they're doing. He practiced against that offense.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Cam Newton and Tom Brady, completely different players, but you would think with Bill Belichick's system, how long it's been there, some stuff's going to remain the same. So sit Cam Newton against the Dolphins.
I like that take as well. Next one up for me is running back out of Bills, Devin Singletary. I don't think he's going to have a very good game. They have the new running back, Randy Moss. I think not Randy.
Randy Moss.
Whatever his name, Knox. I don't know what his name. It's not Moss.
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss.
I think it's Zach Moss.
Yeah, it's Zach Moss. They got the new rookie, and all the indicators out of all the beat reporters is that he's going to be a goal line back. And Devin Singletary, all his value kind of came on the touchdowns. Like I know in PPR formats, he's kind of a nice buy, I guess maybe, but I think a lot more carries are going to go to the new guy Moss. I think they want to see what he's got, and Devin Singletary, he could have a decent game, but I don't expect him to be anything special. So if you got somebody else, you probably want to put him in the flex.
My next sit-em goes without saying. I don't know why you'd have this guy to begin with, but sit Sam Darnold. He's going up against the Bills defense. He's just going to have a bad time.
He's going to see ghosts.
What? Probably. What targets does he have? Rashard Perriman,
Jamison
Crowder, and Chris Herndon. We're probably forgetting somebody, but I haven't paid a lot of attention.
Oh, there's that guy, but he never throws it to him.
They have that rookie, Denzel Mims, I think, but he's a rookie. Sit Sam Darnold whenever you can.
Please, for the love of God.
Honestly, whenever you can. Don't draft him. Drop him probably if he's on your team.
If he's on your team, why is he on your team? Please.
Sit Sam Darnold. Okay, last one. Go.
Okay, last one. Julian Edelman, going back to the Patriots. Julian Edelman he's not very good, to be honest. And I know we had a very large argument about this a long time ago, about if he was Hall of Fame worthy, if you recall that argument. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I regret that completely because Julian Edelman's just not a good receiver, I don't think. And he was more of just what Tom Brady likes for some reason. I don't think the chemistry is going to be established week one with Cam Newton. And, Julian Edelman might finish with a couple catches, but I think they're going to shut him down. I don't see him having a very good day. Maybe he gets 75 yards off of like 2 catches. I don't know. But who knows? He's not 2 catches. He's not going to have 2 catches for 75 yards. He's going to have under 50 yards receiving. Mark my words.
2 30-yard catches. 35 yards.
He's going to have a bad day. It's just the Cam Newton and him, they're not going to jive well, at least this week. So sit him.
Finally, sit the Bengals defense. They're playing the Chargers, who, granted, are starting Tyrod Taylor. But historically, Tyrod Taylor doesn't turn the ball over. With him at quarterback and no more Phillip Rivers, I think they're going to be more conservative.
Yeah.
Maybe some short intermediate passes, run the ball a lot. So there's just not a lot of room for the Bengals to get sacks, to get turnovers. So I would sit the Bengals defense this week against the Chargers.
Cool.
finally, we're going to go to our breakout fantasy players and then who we think is going to flop this year. So, Yuri, who is your fantasy breakout player? And this can be anybody. Who, mainly like a sleeper that like not a lot of people think of.
Okay, well, I don't know if he's necessarily that, but his name is David Johnson. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. I have slept on him too, because in our league, he was available in the second round to me, and I didn't take it. And now I regret it fully. Because last night he showed that he still got it, scampered in for a 16-yard touchdown. That was the longest touchdown he's had in since 2018, apparently. They said that. So, and he's just a focal point of this offense now. He's going to be the main guy. He's going to be a 3-down back. Last night proves it. And David Johnson, I think he just fell on a lot of people's radars because of his injury history and all that. I think he stays healthy this year, and I think he's going to be a great guy to have on your team. So, Tate, I'm jealous.
I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins, rookie running back, Ohio State. He's on the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, Mark Ingram's their guy. He's going to start the season as the starter. Probably get a bulk of the load.
Bulk of the load.
J.K. Dobbins, I'm calling it right now. By mid-season, he's going to be splitting, if not the feature back.
By mid-season.
Mid-season. J.K. Dobbins. He's going to, when he gets his opportunities, he's going to take advantage of them, and then they're going to give him the ball more. So he's my breakout fantasy player. I'm not just saying that because I drafted him. Okay. Yuri, who's going to flop this year?
Who's going to flop? It's going to be Mr. Derrick Henry, King Henry. They just signed him a massive extension. And the thing they forgot about was that the Chiefs shut him down. I mean, he still had 60 yards and a touchdown in the playoff game last year. But it was clear that they got a little bit to him. So I'm just going to pick Derrick Henry. I mean, this is kind of one of those things. I'm just making a bold prediction. Who knows if it is correct? But I just see the potential for regression for him. And he might still be a solid running back, but I don't think he's going to be your number 1 guy on your team, maybe not even number 5 guy on your team. He might dip a lot. He's also not a workhorse because he doesn't catch the ball that much. And yeah, Derrick Henry's my guy.
Mine is a hot take as well.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna go with Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So we all know that he's gonna most likely not play this week. I have Cortland Sutton and Mike Evans as my starting wide receivers, so I might be biased on this one too.
It's rough.
But I feel like the more I think about it, Tom Brady is obviously going to favor Gronk.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin runs more intermediate routes, whereas Mike Evans, he's a deep threat. And Tom Brady's arm might factor into it too. Is he going to push the ball downfield, or is he going to dink and dunk like he always does?
Right.
Mike Evans is not a dink and dunk receiver. He's also hurt, and who knows the severity. Obviously he's not going to play this week, but say he does come back, that's an easy injury to re-injure. Yeah. So who knows what his availability will be this season. I think Mike Evans is going to have a down year from last year, unfortunately.
Yeah, that blows.
I think next week we'll start doing hot takes, hot take segment. But that wraps it up.
Yes.
For the fantasy episode numero uno.
Leave your comments and if you have any questions, please voice them.
Tell us how we did. Some advice, anything, any fantasy advice, any fantasy questions. Let us know. We're going to start doing this weekly, and we are going to be consistent. We've been off for a while.
But the season's here.
Season is here.
Just begun
on Big Money Sports.
Blooper time. Fuck technology, Trans. This shit never fucking works. Ever.